Hello, my name is Turner.
And I'm Giuseppe.
First off, I want to define a few terms so you guys are up to par with this. An MDC is a country that has progressed relatively far along the continuum of development. An LDC is a country that is relatively early in development on the continuum. The HDI, or the Human Development Index, is an indicator of level of development for each country constructed by the United Nations, which combines income, literacy rates, education, and life expectancy.
Now that might have sounded like a big mess of long words, so let me put that in simpler terms for you. MDCs are further developed than less developed countries, as the name indicates, and the HDI is a rating system for countries, so we can categorize them. Take it away, Giuseppe.
Thanks, Turner. So there's a phenomenon known as the north-south split. This phenomenon happens when you draw a line about 30 degrees north. Most of the countries that are above it are MDCs, and below that line are where the majority of LDCs are located. Now back to Turner with some examples of countries and their HDIs.
Oh, thanks, Giuseppe. You're the best. An example of a more developed country is North America. The HDI is 0.95. The United States ranks only 13th in HDI in 2009. The US was near the top of two categories, including GDP per capita and literacy rate, but lower in education and life expectancy. North America was once one of the world's major manufacturers of steel, automobiles, and other goods. Americans remain the leading consumers and world's largest market for many of these products. The region adapted to the loss of manufacturing and global economy by holding the world's highest percentage of tertiary sector employment and services. North America is also the world's leading food exporter. Few Americans are farmers, but a large percentage of region's workforce is engaged in some aspect of producing food.
Another example of a more developed region is Europe. Europe's HDI is 0.93. During the Cold War era between the 1940s and the 1990s, Europe was regarded as two regions, a democratic West closely linked economically and militarily with the US, and a communist East linked with the Soviet Union. With the fall of communism and the breakup on many states in Eastern Europe, the two parts of Europe have become much closer and are now treated as a single world region. The elimination of most economical barriers within the European Union makes Europe the world's largest and richest market. European countries hold 15 of the 19 highest HDI rankings. One last example is Russia. Russia's HDI is 0.73. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia rapidly converted into a market economy. Reflecting the deteriorating standard of living in Russia, the HDI declined from more than 0.9 in the 1990s and below 0.8 after the 2000s. In the first years of the 21st century, Russia experienced economic growth fueled largely in measure because of escalating production of oil.
An example of an LDC is Sub-Saharan Africa. Its HDI is 0.51. Africa has been divided into two regions. Countries north of the Sahara share economic and cultural characteristics with Southwest Asia. Among the countries of this region, South Africa is a major source of minerals, including chromium, diamonds, manganese, and platinum. Despite these assets, Sub-Saharan Africa offers the least favorable prospect for development. The region has the world's highest percentage of people living in poverty and suffering poor health and low education levels.
Another example of an LDC is South Asia, with an HDI of only 0.61. This region has the world's second highest population and second lowest per capita income. Population density is very high, and the natural increase rate is among the world's highest as well. The overall ratio of population to resources in the region is looking dim because of the huge population. As a result of the Green Revolution, miracle seed, rice, and wheat seeds are widely spread throughout South Asia.
One last example of an LDC is Central Asia. Its HDI is 0.7. Most of the countries in Central Asia were once part of the Soviet Union. This region is one of the leading producers of petroleum. In Iran, a large share of the rising oil revenues have been used to maintain lower consumer prices rather than to promote development. Minerals and agriculture products are their principal economic resources.
Thanks for joining us on this Fred Talk.
And as always, stay Versace.